Hey everybody, it's Coach Jason. Hope you're doing well. So I want to talk about how to run the second half of a race faster than the first half, okay? And I don't mean running the first half of the race and racing the second half. I mean racing the first half of a race and racing the second half faster, okay? It's called negative splitting for those. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. The issue is far too many cases, a lot of people wait until the very end of a race to have a finishing kick, which is fine. But at some point, if you want to become more competitive, and as you become more experienced and more fit and a little bit more race savvy, you want to start putting yourself in a position to kick past the people that are in front instead of kicking past the people that are in the back, or working your way from the back of the pack to the middle of the pack, from the middle of the pack to the front of the pack, and so on. So I want to go over these are four types of workouts you can utilize to help put yourself in a position to run negative splits, okay? And this goes from everything from 800 meters all the way up to the marathon, okay? Marathon obviously is a more difficult scenario, but the more fit you become, and certain types of runs will actually put you in a position to be able to do that. And some of the top marathoners in the world run negative splits, so it is possible, okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is out and back runs, okay? It's essentially a run where you go out and you run the second half faster. Generally, and at least in my opinion, what I've used for myself and my athletes, I tend to go in even numbers, okay? Whether it be 4 miles or 6 miles or 8 or 10, okay? If it's a 4-mile run, you're going 2 out and 2 back at a slightly faster pace. If you do 6 miles, you go 3 out and 3 back at a slightly faster pace. If you go 8, 4 out, 4 back at a slightly faster pace. And 10, 5 out and 5 back at a slightly faster pace. Some folks go longer, and that's fine, but for the most part, those are good distances to do out and back runs. Now, how do you know if you're training at the right pace? I'm going to put a couple videos down below, one of which is a 1-mile time trial, which tells you how to identify your fitness at that point, okay? How fit are you right now, okay? And then how to determine the right training paces for you based on your time trial, so that you're not training at someone else's training pace. Because let's say you run 5 minutes for the mile. You're not going to be running the same training paces as the people who run 4:30. You're also not going to be running the same training paces as the people that run 5:30. Okay, so setting the right training paces for you helps determine your ability to do a lot of these things. Okay, and training over distance and under distance as well. Okay, so what I mean by that is if you're training for 5Ks, it's important to do some stuff at 10K pace and even 3K pace or mile pace. Okay, it's important you're building speed through strength, and you're building strength through strength. Okay, and actually strength through speed as well. So, number one is out and back runs. Okay, how you lay it out in the training program is completely up to you. Or how you lay it out for your athletes is completely up to you. If you want to take a look, I have detailed training programs from 5K all the way up to the marathon. I'll put some of those down below as well. And if you're a coach and you're an athlete and you want to learn more, or you want to get a lot of details, specifically detailed training programs from 5K or mile all the way up to the marathon, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification next to it, because I'm going to be putting out a lot more. But I already have several dozens of detailed training programs, and every single training program I put out is fully detailed, so you can see how everything's broken down. Okay. Second one is progression runs. Now, these are important parts of running, and a lot of top runners do this as well. Essentially starting out at a conversational pace and working way all the way up to even a threshold pace or slightly faster than threshold pace. And I generally do segments here as well, and I've given you several different segments. Okay, so if you're generally training for the mile, 3K, 5K, a good distance for a progression run is 3 miles up to 6 miles. If you run 3, then maybe each mile gets a little bit faster. Or if you run, let's say, 5, the same thing. Each mile gets a little bit faster. Or if let's say you run 6, 2 miles at a certain pace, 2 miles slightly faster, 2 miles slightly faster than that. And it starts to help you improve your aerobic threshold and your anaerobic threshold as well, which helps your ability to handle more difficult training, which in turn will put you in a position to run faster. Okay. If you're training for 5K, 8K, 10K, a good distance is 5 miles to 8 miles. Same concept. How you break it down is completely up to you based on your fitness or the fitness of your athletes. If you're training for anywhere from 5K, 10K to half marathon, and I do encourage you to mix and match your distances and races. A good progression distance is 7 miles to 10 miles. And if you're training for the half marathon specific, a good progression is anywhere from 10 miles to 18 miles, okay? Yes, 18 miles. That can even be a long run, or you can do progression long runs. However you want to do it. It's based on what you're doing. Like specifically with marathon training, obviously the long run is important, but I also encourage you to have another run in the week, which is I call an intermediate or a semi-long run, which is up to 13 or 14 to 15 miles, teaching you how to be on your feet for a longer period of time, at least twice a week, okay, which is important for marathon training, okay? That's number 2, progression runs. Number 3, I call them half and half long runs, okay? 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 miles in duration, okay? These are great for half marathon. They're great for marathon training. They're also great if you're training for 5K and 10K as a way of building your threshold and building aerobic strength, okay? Essentially, you're running the first half between your easy pace and your steady pace. And again, how do you know what the pace is? Take a look at down below so you can help determine your particular training pace or the paces of your athletes, okay? So the first is a easy to steady pace, slow build up, okay? So let's say your easy pace is 8 minutes and your steady pace is 7. You just or 7:30. You're just slowly working your way from 8 to 7:30, okay? The second half of the run, okay, you're going from threshold to in between threshold and marathon pace, okay? So let's say you have a 20-mile long run, okay? And this is a key long run, okay? Let's say you're 5 weeks out. You run 10, first 10, okay, at a steady pace or easy to steady. The second 10 at your goal marathon pace, okay? You need to know what it feels like to run marathon pace at the latter part of these runs, okay? Very, very important. You can break long runs down a lot differently in a whole bunch of different ways. You can run the first 10 at marathon pace. You can run the middle 10 at marathon pace, okay? So you know what it feels like at any point in time to lock into the marathon pace, okay? But in this particular case, you're running the second half of the run faster than the first half. It's similar to an out and back, but it doesn't have to be an out and back. And this is a slow, gradual build-up, okay? The pace just gets slightly faster and faster and faster and faster and faster as you go on, okay? That's number 3. And the last but not least, negative split workouts, okay? I'm going to give you a bunch of options here, okay? And these are for all different distances. 6 to 8 by 400 meter efforts with a 2-minute recovery. You run the first 200 at your mile pace, okay, your current mile pace, and then you run the second 200 at your current 800 meter pace, okay? So let's say you're running, let's just say 70, okay, 440 per mile. You can break this down a lot of different ways, and let's say your 800 meter equivalent is 205, okay? So that means you run the first half in 35, the second half in about 32, which gives you a 67-second 400 meters, okay? That's generally how you would break it down. And again, you would know the conversion or the equivalence where you should be based on your mile time trial. By doing a mile time trial, it'll tell you where you should be for 800 and 400 or near it, as well as 3K and 5K. And it'll tell you what you need to do if you're closer to one, further away from the other. Okay. So, secondly, 5 to 6 by 800 meters with a 200 meter recovery. The first 400 meters is at 5K pace, okay, and the second 400 meters is at 3K pace, okay. This is a great workout too, because essentially, let's say a 3K or 2 miles, that would be a total of 4 800s, okay, and the 5K would be a total of 6 800s plus a little bit more. So this is a way of getting a combination between the two. Allows you to maybe get the midpoint and say 5, okay, work your way up to 6. This is a way of teaching you how to run. To progress from 3K pace to 5K pace, or vice versa, 5K, 3K pace. Okay. 7 to 8 by 1,000 meters is the next one with a 2-minute recovery. The first 500 meters is at 10K pace, and the second 500 meters is at 5K pace. Now this is a great workout too, because thousands, you can run 8 to 10 by 1,000 at your 10K pace, so you should be able to eventually get to that point. And you should be able to run 5 to 6 by 1,000 meter efforts at your 5K pace, or your goal 5K pace, with approximately 2-minute recovery or 2:30 recovery. Okay, that'll give you an idea of how close you are, how ready you are to run those races. The midpoint is essentially 7 to 8. So it's a little less than 10, it's a little more than 5, but it allows you to hit the 10K pace and work your way down to 5K pace, okay? Pace variation. This is also a great way of putting your position to break people mid-race, okay? Throw a surge somewhere where they're not ready for it. This puts you in a different racing position, okay, which is good, okay? Next one, 10 to 12 by 400 meters, okay? So this one's 6 to 8, now we're going 10 to 12, and that is a 1-minute recovery, okay? The reason why you're going to run the first 200 meters at 5K pace, and the second 200 meters at 3K pace. Okay, so let's say your 5K is 15:30. Okay, which is 75 per lap, and let's say your 3K is 9 minutes. Okay, which is 72 per lap. Okay, so you run the first half in about 37, and you run the first and second half in about 35, 36. Okay, so it comes down to about a 73. Okay, so it's basically halfway between the 5K pace and the 3K pace. Okay, but it gives you the ability to touch both. Okay, and there's a lot of ways you can do this. So, next one, 3 to 4 by 800 meters. Okay, with a 2-minute recovery. The first 400 meters at 3K pace, second 400 meters at mile pace. Okay, if you can do 3 times an 800 at mile pace, or your goal mile pace with a good recovery, which is 1.5 times the distance, you're pretty fit. Okay, and you should be able to run your goal mile. Okay, generally if you run 1 to 1.5 times the distance of your goal race or your target race, that's a good thing. Now it'll be harder to do with longer reps, but midpoint reps is a good thing as well. So the first 400s at 3K pace, the second 400s at mile pace. So you're generally doing 4 by 800 meters at your 2-mile pace, okay, and then 2 or 3 by 800 meters at mile pace. So this is the midpoint in between. Build yourself up. Go work your way from 3, and then as you get fitter, try a 4th one. Okay, 2 left. 3 to 5 times a mile repeat with a 3-minute recovery. Each mile. Okay, these are progression miles or cut down miles. Each mile it gets 3 to 5 seconds faster per rep. And the cool thing about this is you can do this several different ways. Okay, one is a gut check. Okay, you can start at your current race pace. Well, let's say you're 28 minutes. Okay, for 5 miles, which is 5:36 per mile. Okay, you start at 5:36, and then you try to drop 3 seconds per time. So you go 5:36, 33, 30, 27, 24. If you could do that, you can essentially put yourself in a position to go from your current race pace to your goal race pace, and that's a good thing. And another way to do it is as well as once you stop dropping time, once the miles kind of plateau or stop or get slower, you stop the workout. Okay, the goal is to get faster each rep. Okay, is to increase the intensity each rep. So, and again, you could start at 3, run each one a little bit faster. Work your way to 4, work your way to 5. Okay, but that's a good workout to teach your body how to get faster. Okay, and all these you're teaching your body to get faster throughout the workout, throughout the run, which will translate into helping you learn how to do that in races as well. Okay, and last one, 3 to 4 by 800 meters. Okay, similar concept. Each 800 meters gets 2 to 4 seconds faster per rep. So let's say you're looking to run a 4:30 mile. Okay, that's 2:15. You can start it. You can even start at 2:20, then run 2:15, 2:10, 2:05, which will be hard, or you can do 2:20, 2:15, 2:15, 2:10. Okay, and then work your way that way. Which that's 5 seconds, but you can also start at 2:15, 2:13, 2:11, 2:09. That's a much more reasonable if you want to go from 4:30 to 4:20. Well, let's say you're at 7 minutes. Okay, that's 3:30, and you want to get to 6:30. Okay, so you're working your way from 3:30 to 3:15 over time. Okay, that's just a way of breaking it down. It teaches your body how to run these increments, these shorter increments, faster each time, which will put you in a position to improve your mile, your 3K, your 5K, 10K, half marathon, and marathon. So here's 4 different types of workouts. Okay, I hope these helpful. If you have suggestions of your own, put them in the comments down below. If you want me to do specific things, put them down below. And just as an FYI, and just in case you don't know who I am, because most people don't know, my name's Jason. I'm a USATF certified coach. I have competed and coached at the high school, collegiate, and post-collegiate level. You'll see in my profile, my bio, on my YouTube channel, my USATF coaching certification number. I'm also a Wharton certified musculoskeletal and flexibility therapist as well for 20 years. So my goal is to not only help you run fast, but to stay healthy while you're doing it. So if you want videos on staying healthy, take a look on the channel as well. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. And if you enjoyed this video, if you got some good feedback out of it, please click the thumbs up, okay? And keep an eye out for my next couple of videos. I have not yet done I've done a sub 18, 17, 16, and sub 15 fully detailed training programs for 5K. My next 2 are going to be a sub 20 minutes because there's a lot of folks shooting for that plateau. Or for that next goal, and I'm going to do a sub 19 minute, and they're going to be 12-week fully detailed training programs to teach you how to get there from week 1 to week 12. So you're not going to want to miss those as well. So hope this was helpful. Stay healthy out there, train smart, train hard, and let's look out for each other, and I'll talk to you next time.